Hey everyone, welcome to My Final Play. I'm here with the first and only All-American honored female softball player from Mansfield University, Kate Pratt. Kate, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for having me.
So we're going to get into the sport of softball and kind of some of your accomplishments along the way, but when did the sport first catch your attention?
I started softball at T-ball, but I would say around when I was 9.
Yeah.
I played Little League, but we had a really great group of dads that helped us form a really strong unit.
Mm-hmm.
They were at the field with us every practice, every night. So we formed a travel team. We were called Northern Tier Lightning. And we entered a first tournament up in Corning Canyon Post, and we were 9, 10-year-olds, and we ended up winning it.
Yeah.
So that kind of started we kind of have something.
Right.
That's probably the turning point of I really like softball, and that I wanted to stick with it and work hard and see where it takes me.
Yeah. So at 9 and 10 is when that kind of clicked.
Yeah.
And then at what point then did you think, I can make this a career, or I can play this at the next level as well?
Yeah. So I started as a catcher, and I really liked it. And I flirted with pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't my favorite position, but I was accurate.
Yeah.
So I kind of turned to I have something I can give to my team.
Right.
I really could play anywhere. I ended more of a shortstop, but then we kept our travel team together, and it was just a hometown travel team, so we could build for that, high school and try to get to states and look for those bigger accomplishments. We had some success, and then we started Little League, and we had really big success in Little League.
Yeah.
So we won district titles, many 4 or 5 years in a row. Then we went to sectionals. We were in sectional finals every year, but couldn't get past one. When I was in 7th grade, I left the little hometown because of my personal success, and I went to a team in Horseheads, Lady Bandits. They were a 14U team. I didn't win as a pitcher there either, but I ended up pitching, and I pitched in the New York State Championship and pitched 3 straight games that day. And that same summer, our Little League team made the states. So we made our first trip to Punxsutawney.
Yeah.
And it was a whole lot of fun. We stayed in this hotel, very old hotel. We got to state finals and we lost. But during that time, my coach in Lady Bandits knew a coach from New Jersey who coached this elite team. And they needed a guest player for a weekend. So he saw me play at this tournament called Team New Jersey.
Okay.
And it's a huge tournament where all the big Division I coaches come in.
Yeah.
So Tennessee's in there, Fordham. So a lot of them come in. So I went down and guest played. Ended up making the team out of knowing that coach and asking me to go. But I remember my dad called me about it, and I was at bowling in school. We were up at Terrace Lanes in Troy. He's like, "You want to go to New Jersey?" I'm like, "I guess so." So we ended up going. It was a lot of fun, but that was the turning point to a career. I could go Division I.
Right.
It was a huge eye opening. We played every weekend. We were home probably 2 or 3 days a week,
Yeah.
and then we were gone again.
Oh, wow.
So we were thankful this team stayed pretty local.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play fall ball. They ended up going to Florida and Texas, but I played soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my break from it. But other than that, we went down once a month because we had to go to southern New Jersey for practice. Yeah, so it was a 3.5-hour drive every other Sunday, or we tried doing once a month. The coach was really lenient with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we got down there. My junior year in high school, I played for them all through high school. I went and visited Fordham.
Mm-hmm.
I had offers from Fordham and Colgate, a lot of the other big schools, but decided going Division I it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's more than just your academics. Like, it's number one.
Right.
And I really love softball, but I also, it's going to end.
Yeah.
So I wanted a career too, and so teaching was what I wanted to go into, and Mansfield was close, but the PSAC's really strong, and I knew I would get the academics, but still have the love and put that dedication into softball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So really it started at 14 when you were like, I can play at the next level, but I mean, in that process, there was so much effort and so much time put into it. You're saying every single weekend, almost 3/4 of the year.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So you get to Mansfield, and then let's kind of walk through what that looked like, because obviously, what position did you play or get recruited as for Mansfield?
So Mansfield, I told them, they contacted me like beginning of my senior year. I haven't committed yet, and I told them like I was looking at D1, wasn't really interested. So the spring of my senior year, didn't make a decision yet. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to Mansfield. Yeah. So I went over and met with the coaches, met with G, met with Stack.
Yeah.
And I said, I really like shortstop. They asked me if I wanted to pitch. I said, no, not really. And that part, I'm like, I'm not that great of a pitcher. I'm not gonna be able to pitch at this level. Like I'd rather be shortstop. So they, they said there's some upperclassmen there you're gonna have to beat out, and I said, okay, like that comes along with being a freshman, being a rookie. I'm like, I'm willing to work at it. So they were like open, but then I'm like, I really want to play. So I'm willing to do anything to be on the field, even pitching. So I ended up getting into the pitching rotation. Freshman year, I started third base. Never played third before. That was scary. But I was on the field, so again, I'm willing to do whatever.
Right.
It wasn't too bad. If you work hard in the off season, we're in the weight room. That was a difference, because when I played through high school, we had the weight room at high school, but nothing like it is now.
Right.
Like we have a weightlifting coach, a personal trainer now at the school. We never had that.
Right.
So these now my girls that I coach now have that once a week. Actually, they're open 4 days a night, and a personal trainer's up there. Like, it's free.
Yeah.
They get to go up there. They get to strengthen their body. It's great. I wish I had it. But I didn't really get into weightlifting until college. Yeah. And it made a huge difference.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So you then started as basically a utility player. So you're starting third base. So they wanted you on the field, but at the same time, you had that spot in the lineup as well for batting. So let's talk about some of the offensive accomplishments then. At this point, you still hold the record for both single season and overall home runs at the university. But when did the All-American honors come then?
That was my junior year. Was like my peak year. That came with, I led NCAA Division II in home runs per game. So that was a big accomplishment. I just I worked hard, kept getting that live pitching, and really just staying relaxed and not really the mental game, not trying to do too much.
Yeah.
I did my senior year. I got the mental part dropped me some from what I did my junior year. Because I thought about, I got to match my junior year. I got to do better.
Right.
And that backfired. So the mental game's the strongest part, I think, of the game too.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, you did make the accomplishment of the All-American honors. What was that like, being the first and up till now the only one from Mansfield University to receive those honors?
It's amazing. It's pretty cool. I mean, I never dreamed of it.
Yeah.
I knew I was close, because each time I'd get something that junior year, they come out after obviously each announcement. So I'm like, could it happen? And then it did, and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But it's definitely all of that work paying off.
Yeah.
Leading up to it.
Yeah.
You definitely put in the time. So, and then we'll talk about, on my final play, what did that look like? It was your senior year. You guys made it further than any team had for Mansfield University into the regional tournament. And go ahead and explain that to us then.
I kind of had, if you want to say two, we made it into the PSAC playoffs, which they haven't done, I don't think ever, but we made it.
Yeah.
So they just made it this past year, which was only their second time. So we made it. We won one of our games, and then we lost that last game down there at PSAC playoffs off a home run. And so that kind of was like, we didn't know if we were going to make it into the regional play.
Right.
So like that was like, this could be it.
Yeah.
So the bus ride home is awful because all the seniors sit together and we're become best friends now. We're like family and sisters.
Right.
Cry all the way home, listen to the saddest songs possible. And like now we get hit real life.
Yeah.
Like what are we gonna do? But so they have their selection show, and we all sat and my friends and I, the seniors, had a house together. So the whole team came over. We got the selection show on, and we got the last seed and got in.
Yeah.
So that was like, we're still alive. Like it's not over yet. So we ended. We had to go Shippensburg, and we faced the number 1 seed, which was West Virginia Westland. Lost to them, but we won our second game. So we played, came back. We had to beat West Virginia Westland that Saturday,
Yeah.
which was graduation. So we had our cap and gowns with us. We obviously didn't walk, but it was fun knowing like we're playing softball, like what we love to do on graduation day when life's gonna hit. But I remember I pitched. It wasn't a close game. They were a really good team, but as soon as it was done, it didn't hit you right away.
Yeah.
It didn't hit till bus ride home. I was like, this is like it.
Yeah.
Like we get home and it's done.
Right.
We took pictures with our cap and gowns, and because you're still high, like it's graduation day, like
Right.
we made some big accomplishments, but then the bus ride home, it was a lot of tears.
Right. So obviously, other than the sadness of it ending, I mean, it was almost like two things coming together at the same time. Obviously, the accomplishment of your degree, but then the accomplishments that you had throughout your career in softball. What did that transition look like then from player to what you're doing now?
I would say like instead of with college softball, like you had a pretty good routine. Like coaches told you what you need to do, what it needs to be done. Like here's practice.
Right.
So now you're on your own. You gotta, you're going back home or wherever your job's gonna take you. I started looking for jobs. My senior year of softball, like I only had one class my spring year.
Okay.
So like it was a pretty good like just softball.
Yeah.
So I looked for jobs that whole spring year. Did interviews with a company around here, which is Blast, which is special education. And I got my first job that summer, which was like really crazy and scary. But I had a pretty smooth transition.
Yeah.
And I've been with them ever since. So transition-wise, it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. It was a good experience.
I'm sure there's a lot of things that you've learned throughout the sport that then can apply to everyday life as well. What would you say would be the number one thing that the sport has taught you?
Time management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with a schedule like what you had growing up and playing the game, to be able to focus on school, to be able to focus on the sport, and just be a kid. Definitely time management is something that you can probably relate to really well.
Yeah.
What would you say, though, would be a shift in your identity? I mean, as you're going through school, you're going through college, how closely did you relate to the identity of a softball player? And what does that identity look like now after you've played and are on to teaching?
I've always stayed in the sport. So identity-wise, I guess I'm still in the sport. I'm still influencing and helping the younger ones.
Yeah.
Teaching-wise, I stayed local, so a lot of people I run into still are like you're Kate Pratt, right? I'm like, yeah, because I'm Kate Wright now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, they either say you played at Troy or you're a softball player from Mansfield.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So it's still there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it all goes back to softball.
Right. And at the same time, you are in that coaching role now. You are influencing the youth and teaching them, so that identity can still remain of how you're impacting. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah.
So Well, I definitely appreciate what you've done and the accomplishments that you've attained. It's crazy. So that definitely is an attribute to the hard work that you put in.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your time. I hope everyone also enjoyed the content. If you did, please like and subscribe. And remember, whatever it is that you do today, approach it with the mindset of, is this my final play? Thanks again.